Oh, hello. Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi, Adrian.
Hey, Joyce.
So I want to welcome everyone to the live stream. We are streaming on Twitch and on YouTube today. So if you're logged in, you can chat with us, say hello. Otherwise, my name is Joyce. I'm in developer relations over at Postman, and I have a special guest today. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Adrian Howard. I'm the staff developer advocate at a startup called Courier. I like to say that I'm the Hoosier in the big city. I'm based out of New York.
You're a Hoosier. You're from Indiana?
Yes, I am.
I'm from Chicago, so we're basically
Oh,
from
Midwesterners.
Midwestern. Yeah. So I met you a couple years ago during a job interview. I was actually interviewing for a position, and you did not hire me.
It was a blessing in disguise.
So, I've been plotting this entire time, and today we have some payback. So get ready, buckle
Okay,
down.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
So you're based in New York City. I'm in San Francisco. You work for Courier, and you have a pug
I do. Oliver.
named Oliver. Okay.
Yeah.
So also another fun story for everyone is that I think one time I offended you really bad for months on end because I said I don't like pugs,
Oh, yeah,
and
you did say that. Yeah.
your eyes just look like bore holes through my head, and I was like, oh. But since then, I've watched several movies about pugs, and I do like pugs. I've been actually told my face kind of looks like a Boston Terrier, which is kind of like a pug.
Oh,
So I have a soft spot for.
well, it's in the bulldog family. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off really quickly. I do have an in case you missed it. So Arlemy is doing the stream behind the scenes because I'm having technical difficulties today. So Arlemy, can you kick off in case you missed it? Okay, so hopefully, let's go ahead to my screen. So hopefully you see the community forum. We come here almost every stream. We're at community.postman.com. I'm logged in. And just a really quick update today under events. See, here's our live stream here, Adrian.
Ooh.
But in case you missed it, we are doing a Postman user conference. So Postman Galaxy 2020 is going to be online, and our call for papers is open. So if you have a talk about APIs, tech, or Postman or something, we're looking for first-time speakers, experienced speakers, just really good and interesting tech talk. So our CFP is open for Postman Galaxy. And that's all I had for in case you missed it. Okay, so Adrian, tell me what we're doing today.
Well, uh, I know that I had to to tell you about this, but there was an Office episode where was it BJ Novak's character, and I've already forgot his name, his character name, but he created a startup where you could send somebody a woof, and basically whenever he kicked off this woof, it would send, there was like a fax that went off, there was an email, there was a telephone call. All of these different forms of communication happened at once. And so we're going to do something fun where we're going to use Courier to do a similar thing. So what Courier allows you to do is to send notifications using a single API. Does it have his name? Did you put his name on there? No? Okay.
Well, first of all, when you told me about this, I don't watch The American Office. I don't watch The Office at all,
Whoa.
much less The American Office. Second of all, you said woof, just like you did now. And I said, what? And you said woof. And you just
Woof,
said it
yeah.
louder. And I said, what? And you just kept saying it again. Like,
Yeah.
people don't know
Like
what
a
this
wolf,
is.
like a wolf, like a wolf. Yeah, I just assume everybody's watched The Office.
Okay.
I mean, we're also in pandemic time, so what else do you have to do? But is it on Netflix or something? Just keep watching it. Ryan, somebody help me out. Awesome. His name is Ryan.
Oh, okay. So I personally, I was curious about this because, my boss wants to get in touch with me. I have this light here. I've told him if he wants to get in touch with me, send me an email, call me. I don't carry my phone around with me. I'm like,
Yeah.
a lot of millennials these days are glued to their phone, and I don't like to check my phone that often. I sit in front of my computer, but I actually turn off my badge notifications. So I have this light. I told him just send me a post request, and then I'll see it. I'm working on a gong. So once that's set up, we can chime the gong. But Courier, let's go to share my screen if
Sure.
we can real quick. So I'm still here in the community forum. And this is the posting. This is what WUPHF looks like, because for people who are visual, WUPHF could be like the sound a dog makes, or it could be like a wolf howling at the moon. So this is WUPHF. And this is that character, Ryan.
Ryan.
Hi,
Yeah.
Cisco 6. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream.
Welcome.
We're just talking about what we're doing today. And Adrian's going to show us how to use Courier to send a fax.
Not a fax today. We can send a bevy of notifications. I hope one day we'll hook into, because Twilio has a fax integration. So we integrate with Twilio on SMS. I also have high hopes of one day doing the Twilio voice, so we could kick off a phone call and like have, I don't know, robot Stephen Hawking like reading a message to you. But we can do email, we can do push notifications, lots of different things. Slack, MS Teams, pretty much name it, and we'll get it added.
There's a question. Oh, nice. What programming language do you use?
So for Courier, you can use pretty much any programming language. We have an API, but we do have client libraries for Node, Python, Go, Ruby, PHP. Right now, we have a lot of people using Python. It's very interesting to see how many people we have using Python to use us. But personally, I do a lot of JavaScript, and I also do Python. So I maintain the JavaScript and the Python libraries.
So I'm here at Courier. I logged in. I already created an account. Where can I go to see all the types of integrations that you're talking about?
So the little plug underneath the database icon.
Oh, integrations. We use that same icon for APIs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you've gone ahead and installed SendGrid and Twilio. Great.
Yeah.
We can use that today. But then we have all of these other ones. So Africa's Talking, Airship for Mobile Push, SES, Facebook, Firebase. That's great for push notifications and in-app. Nexmo for SMS, MessageBird for SMS if you're in Europe. We've got Slack, which is one of my favorites to play with. SparkPost for email. I do a lot of stuff. Oh, and then webhook. So that's the one that we're going to be using today to be able to interact with like IoT devices. But you can basically have Courier send off a post, or I believe we also support GET request to an endpoint to take off. So like if you want to affect what a piece of IoT is doing, like that's probably the best way to have Courier handle it.
So what I would like to do is, whoever's watching here on either Twitch or YouTube, I feel like let's architect what we do today together. I already connected or authed my SendGrid in Twilio. I just put in my API keys for these because I had accounts, but I have my Lite, which I opened up to the public, so it takes a post request, so we could possibly use that webhook. I wish I had like an Auga machine or something that would be like, Joyce, answer this important notification. But what are some ideas? Like, so I have a Google Home. Could we like have Stephen Hawking voice coming through Google Home?
You probably could. You would have to build that integration and give it open up an endpoint that Courier could post to. So like really the sky's the limit once you have that endpoint. So like you could do some things with like the Google API, accept that request, maybe do speech to text and pass it along. But like that's the kind of integration that you would have to do on your side.
Well, I've never built like a Google Home skill or app or whatever it's called. That seems a little ambitious. So unless we have experts in the chat, we probably won't do that. How hard is it to do the SendGrid and Twilio? I've never used SendGrid, and I've used Twilio like super basic.
So it's really easy. We have a graphical designer, so you can build them all up. While we're in here in the integrations, let's go ahead and add the webhooks integration.
Okay. The one at the bottom, this one?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and add that just to install it so it's up at the top. And so there's two types of webhook integrations that you can do. So you can do just the regular one where you provide it with a webhook URL right here. So every time it uses the URL, or every time it goes to use this provider, it's going to send it to the same address. The other option we have is turning on dynamic destination, and that allows you to pass the URL in the recipient's profile. So at Courier, we have this concept of a recipient, and a recipient has a profile. And inside the profile, that's where we store information about, I think it's the OCID spec, but we use that, and then we also have some objects that we use for the integrations. So in the profile, you would store webhooks option or object, and you would give it a URL. And then there's some other properties that you could use if there's authentication, if you want to switch it to using a GET request instead of a POST, etc. But for right now, I think we can just, we'll just send it all to the same URL.
Okay, so what you're looking for is my light, potentially, right? And my light, we've taken a look at this before.
Okay.
Let me just show you, because I don't think I've showed you what that looks like.
Yeah, I haven't seen what this what it's expecting whenever it gets the post.
So let me make this bigger. I was just complaining to you about the Windows and how I can't remember any command shortcut for either Mac or Windows now. So, oh gosh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is look for my hue. Okay, so this one, turn on the light, the hue light in Joyce's kitchen.
Okay.
There's let's turn on and off. So this is my public endpoint. It's light.meowsgirl.com.
Okay.
And it takes in, it doesn't require authorization, but it just takes in this JSON body.
Sure.
Or here's a different one with like more attributes. So all I want to do is turn it on, essentially. So maybe I'll just go to this one, the simple one. So is this my webhook?
So I don't think we're going to be able to post directly to this because and can you go to docs.courier.com, and I'll show you what the payload looks like. And so if you hit integration guides up at the top, and then on the side at the bottom you see webhook integration.
Okay.
And if you scroll down, you'll see where I was talking about dynamic destination, authentication. We'll keep going.
So this is kind of like conditional logic depending on the payload or depending on the event?
Well, this would be depending on the recipient. So we send things currently per recipient. We're getting ready to release lists, so you can send things to a list of people. And each recipient has a profile, and this is saying, this is the information that needs to exist inside their profile if we're using dynamic. So the webhook will go inside there and grab this information instead of using, like a hard-coded set that you saw in the integrations.
Okay. So we're looking for the request payload?
Yeah, so this request payload, this is what's going to be sent to the endpoint. So it's kind of hard set like this, and it's basically what you're going to send over in the send call to kick off all of these notifications. And so you'll get the event, you'll get the recipient, which is an ID that points to the recipient. You'll get the profile information that you passed over, unless you are requesting a expanded profile. And if you want an expanded profile, it will do a merge of what you pass in the API request and what we have stored in Courier. So a lot of times, like if you have Slack tokens, you don't want to have to pass those over every time. And so you can update the recipient's profile stored in Courier, and then we will retrieve that information and merge it in. Same thing if each person has a different webhook URL, like you don't want to have to worry about passing that over each time. You can just save that inside their profile. And so if you have an expanded profile selected, it will send you everything that we have instead of just what was sent over. If you don't care about that information, you can just leave it limited, and then it kind of makes the payload smaller. And then also the data that you pass over. And so this is what the object's going to look like. And so if we made a post to your endpoint, this is
Mhm.
what it would get. And so you see that we didn't have like that on or something like that.
Yeah.
We
Can we
could,
update this data property to just be like that? Is this synonymous with body?
it's so the whole thing
The
is
whole
the
thing. Yeah,
is the
yeah, yeah.
body.
That's right.
And
Okay.
so like you could pass over like on as true or false in the
Mhm.
data, but you would have to update your endpoint to look for body.on or body.data.on.
Got it. Okay.
So so it depends how you want to go about this. If you want to update your endpoint to be more courier friendly, or if we want to do something where we pass it to an intermediary
Yeah.
and we manipulate it and pass it on. So we do like a kind of man in the middle.
So I feel like we've done this kind of thing. I mean, this is APIs, working with APIs, right?
Right.
So we've used Postman before to accept an inbound webhook, and so in this case it would be Courier sending this body over
Uh-huh.
to the Postman, this webhook sending over to the Postman webhook, and then the collection JavaScript would then output it in the proper on true format.
Yeah.
We've used ngrok to like spin up a local server, but like I've never used ngrok.
I'm also a
What
big fan of spinning up a glitch app, like a glitch
glitch?
express app that you can post to, and then sending it on like using like Axios or something to do a request to
Yeah,
send it on.
we've
Uh,
used glitch before, like I think once or twice. So but I've never personally, I feel like I've used it maybe once
yeah.
in my life too. So I guess like folks in the chat, help us architect this. I mean, we're fine just going through, and I can show you Postman because I know Postman. Adrian can talk about Courier because you know Courier. So this is the webhook one. Like, should we set up the SendGrid and Twilio ones first because it's already set up? Do we want to do the
Yeah, let's go ahead
payload
and
one?
create the message while we kind of soak the beans on how we're
Okay.
going to handle the payload.
Soak the beans. Very Midwestern.
Right?
Okay. So let's go where? To the dashboard?
So let's go back to our Courier app, and I don't think we've hit install yet, so we'll come back to that. And so let's hit the painter's palette.
Okay. This one.
That's
Designer.
our notification designer. And so we're going to create a new notification. Big green
I
button.
am going to be like your UX designer's worst nightmare. I cannot find stuff on a UX to save my life. Okay, so we're creating a new notification.
Yeah, let's give it a name. So like, go up there and click on untitled notification. And just like highlight it all. And let's give that notification a name. What do we want to call it? Hey, Joyce.
Woof.
Woof. Yeah, there we go. Woof.
I don't remember.
WUPHF.
Yeah, I had to look this up six times. Okay, woof.
Yeah, because the first F is PH, which sounds like an F.
Wait, I'm going to make this so I'm going to error proof this. Wait, you can't even tell those are zeros. How am I supposed to write leet without a...
Oh, well, we can do a mapped event, and we could use Elite Speak for that. Like just call it what it is, and then we'll do an event mapping.
Okay, got it.
All right, awesome. So let's go in and let's click the email button under add notifications.
So adding a notification channel.
Yeah, I like to start with email.
Okay.
And so it pre-selected SendGrid because you already have that one configured.
Okay.
This is really nice if you say had other email providers configured. So like maybe you also have SparkPost. You could add SendGrid and SparkPost to the same email channel. And we have different conditionals you can put, say like, if the person is from the East Coast, send it using SparkPost. If they're from the West Coast, send it using SendGrid. Yeah. Things like that. But for now, we just have one provider in the channel. And then we're going to go ahead and also click SMS.
And SMS channel. So Arlemy is suggesting that we go glitch for the win, but that's because he doesn't want to help me implement the Postman webhook, I'm pretty sure.
I love glitch. I try to do as much stuff as I can. I think it makes it really nice for people to come back and like remix it and really like play around with what it is that you did instead of just giving them a repo and then they have to worry about deploying the app and will that work and yada yada yada.
Well, if you feel confident and Cryptocoder, tell me what smiley face robot means. Do you also want glitch? Because if you guys feel confident, like walking me through the glitch flow, then we can do glitch. But otherwise, we're going to just stick to what I know. So we've added email, and SendGrid was already set up. So that's why it's pre-popped here. I'm going to add SMS now.
And it's going to pre-populate with Twilio. This is the better one to talk about, like for the different channels, because Twilio works really great for North America, but we also have MessageBird, which is great for Europe, and then Africa Stocking for Africa. So you could possibly set up all of those providers, add them all to the same channel, and then do a thing where, if the location is in Europe, use this, and it's just one API call, and we figure it out based on like what routing you have set up.
Yeah.
But we're only going to use these ones here. We'll wait and add the webhook integration later after we've set it up. But let's go ahead and click over on the left under channels. We got email.
Oh, okay.
And I like to start by doing the email. So just go ahead and click on it.
Just the regular?
Just click on it.
And Brain Dead Air says 100%. I'm pretty sure Brain Dead Air always wants to use glitch. Okay, so here's our,
okay. So this is a very graphical designer. There's a lot of things that we could add to it. And we could even create a Postman brand. So you design that brand once and then you can apply it to all the different messages. But what we'll do is first, let's think about a subject. And so let's click there. And so we can add variables to that if we want, like whatever we pass in as the in data, or we can grab things from profile. So what do you think the subject of the email should be?
So you're saying I could like use templating to stuff in like a name or something?
Yeah, we have a handlebars like syntax that we allow.
Well, that's too complex. Subject for this. Auga.
Do it. Auga. All right.
Auga.
So we've got a subject. We got the from addresses being pulled in from the integration. That's fine. So now we can start adding content. And that button, what you're doing there is you can either use our handy drag and drop interface, where you can just add blocks, or if you're, like a power user and you want to use HTML and like all that email stuff and use handlebars, you can just copy and paste it right in. But we'll continue with this and maybe add, so that's an image. You could drop an image in, or you can give it a path, and those paths also take variables. So if you wanted to like pass in like a keyword and make it pull different things.
Okay, let me get a picture real quick.
All right, yeah, let's add a picture.
Okay, so let me navigate this. I wonder if this is a security risk. I should probably figure this out. Let's go ahead and put a picture of can it put MOV?
I don't believe so. It's really whatever your email clients handle, and I don't think they do MOV.
Okay, so PNG maybe?
PNG should be safe.
Okay. In case you missed it. Okay.
Nice. And so that's all good. We can just go ahead and accept that. And now let's hit the T and add some text. And just clear the lorem ipsum, and you can add text and format it, style it that way.
Okay.
All right. There's a lot of other things that you can customize, like the
oh god, so
like
ugly.
The header and the footer.
Yeah. Okay, this is just going to be one very simple but ugly notification. So
that's okay. We just need an email. We just need an email on there. Now let's go ahead and click on SMS.
Okay, so
and we
don't do anything.
We don't need to yet.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and design the SMS. Now, because we've already created blocks on the email, we can go over to the library and just drag them in. I would put, okay, so like drag that there and then drag the text and put it on top. Because the way images work with text is currently your email or your text client will unfurl the image, but it has to be the last link.
Okay.
So the link has to be at the bottom.
Otherwise, it's just the link.
Right.
Okay.
So you can imagine, like, if you spend all this time creating the email and you chopped it up into blocks, and then you go in to add another channel, you just have to drag over the information from the library. You could create more blocks if your text required it.
Yeah.
But adding channels is super simple. So we could go back to if
Hi,
you wanted
Akshay
to do.
Sharma. We have somebody watching from YouTube. Hello, welcome.
Hey, YouTubers.
So all we're doing is creating an email, a very sophisticated email and a very sophisticated SMS. I'm learning stuff about notifications. I didn't realize that about the unfurling. I don't use communications very often.
Yeah. It goes from like client to client, but that's a pretty safe bet. If you put the image link at the bottom, it will unfurl it for you.
Okay.
So if we wanted to, we could do a preview and see what this would look like. But we would need to create a test event. So let's create a test event. And this is actually good enough for our test event right now because we are not using variables, so we don't have to put anything in data. And we, again, aren't using variables, so we don't have to put anything in profile. And so let's just go ahead and create that test event.
Oh,
if we decide.
So if we use templating and we didn't provide that information, that's how come you get like, dear man in New York City, thank you for your business. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
And this is just a test event for preview. So normally you would send this information over in the send call.
Okay. Yeah. What are you saying? The SIM call? Send call?
Send call.
Send call. Okay.
Yeah.
Midwestern accent. Okay.
Yeehaw.
Okay.
No, we don't say that. Okay, so this is a preview of the SMS channel. So as you can see, it's just text. Super. Okay. If you go over to the left in the channel, down one more.
Oh. Yeah.
And you choose email. It will give you a preview of what the email will look like.
Ooh, it's very beautiful.
Basic. Beautiful. Yeah. I wish I would have connected with you earlier and we set up like this beautiful Postman brand, and we could have just where it says brand right now, you only have the default brand, but we could have set that up to be something nice, and it would have just popped in nice things like magic.
Well, if I knew where the logo was on my desktop without sharing all my secrets, I would pull that in, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, let's click back over to the design because there's one thing that I want to cover. Currently, what will happen if you were to send this notification, it would pick the best of these two channels. So if you made the send call and you gave a profile where somebody had an email, it would send it as an email. If you sent it with a profile of somebody who only had a phone number, it would skip the email and it would send it as an SMS. But if you sent to somebody with a profile that had an email address and a phone number, it would only send it to an email because that's the order. Now, if you were to take that email and drag it below SMS, you would be giving priority to SMS. Okay. And so this is kind of a priority queue right now. But if we were wanting to do a WUPHF, we want to send to everything. So if you hover over these channels and hit the little cog, you will see always send to, and right now it's set up for best of. If you change that to always, and then hit the X, you can X out of this window. You can see that it got moved up into always send notification too. And
so do the same for this one?
You can go in and do the same for that one. So down at the bottom of that screen it says always send to.
And then make it always.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is only for the WUPHF call. Otherwise, it would be really annoying for your potential recipient to just get all these channels.
It'd be like anytime Delta has a gate change, because every time they change the gate, I get an email, a text, a push notification, everything. And so whenever we do a send, it's going to send a text and it's going to send an email. So now this is all we need to do is plop in our webhook provider.
Okay.
And we can start testing this out to send. So we decided that we're going to do glitch.
I don't even know if I'm logged in the glitch on this machine.
Let's find out. Go to glitch.com because it's we can start up a new one using the Express template.
Okay. So the people have spoken, and we are going to use glitch to accept the Courier webhook and then mutate that payload so that my light can then accept it properly so that I don't have to update the endpoint that my light is on. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere Anil Dash just heard a chorus of angels singing. I think that's what happens every time somebody starts a glitch project.
Okay, so how to do that?
So let's go and hit the new project button. And we are going to do Hello Express. And so this is going to scaffold up an application that's using Express.
Okay.
And it's going to, it has like something about listing dreams, but we'll just go in here and add another route. So if you'll click on the server.js.
Okay, let me, can you read that decently? Is it 2 times? I have like, okay. Let me zoom in just a scotch.
Whoop, whoop.
Is that too aggressive?
I don't know. I think it's fine. Well,
okay.
I think it's
We're
fine.
in server.js.
Yeah.
Where
and so
our Node app starts.
Exactly. And so they've already installed Express. They've already created an app. It's already listening. So if you were to go and underneath where it says show, up at the top, and just do in a new window, then like there's already an app running and it's reading from an index template and putting that stuff out. And we're just going to ignore that for right now. But we'll go back over to the server.js, and what we want to do is add another route. So you can see down here we have app.get with the slash, and that basically says respond with the index.html. And then we have another route that's app.get/dreams. And this is going to be similar to what we're going to do. So underneath this one, let's go ahead and do another app. And instead of get, we're going to do post. And then we're going to give it a route, so maybe /courier.
/courier route, okay.
Okay, and then so now we need to give it this function that takes a request and a response. And yeah, you can do res. I'm lazy. And then, all right, so now what's going to happen is, and do we have, we will likely need to add the body parser on that.
It's Try My Lumpia. Hi, Try My Lumpia. Welcome. We just started writing code, and we need body parser, you think?
So let's go back. So you see where it says app.use, app.use express static. Let's go a line underneath that. Okay. And let's do app.use express.json parens. I think that's all we need. I want to look it up real quick.
And this is so that we can handle the request data?
Yeah, so that's a middleware in Express that will go through and it will parse the body. So whenever we say rec.body, that will actually be a JSON object for us.
Okay.
I'm just going to pull that up. No, not 5. Who's using the alpha?
It's so luxurious to have somebody know like exactly what they're doing and not fumble around. It's so luxurious. And you're looking up docs for me. Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah, I feel like all I ever do is do Express stuff. So. Oops, I went too far.
Is this a question that our chat can help us with?
Yeah, I just need to make sure that I'm not putting, I think the options, so inside, yeah, they're optional. So this should just work, express.json.
Okay.
Because you can, inside that JSON function, put in options to specify other things, but this should be enough.
Okay.
All right, so now we should be parsing our body, and you could actually just do, you could console.log and do rec.body. And if you go under tools on the left bottom, there is a logs button.
Ooh.
And so we could actually see it coming in. Now ignore a lot of these errors, because one thing that Glitch does is it's constantly saving and deploying as you're typing.
Yeah.
So like if you're not finished with the line, it's going to be like, there's a syntax error. Like this is crazy. So like once it goes to like your app is listening on port 3000, then we're good. And you can hit format this file and it will like prettier it for you.
This part I do know about Glitch. I love this part. Yeah.
Ooh,
okay.
The sparkles. Okay, so this is actually enough to set up the webhook integration.
Okay.
So let's click back over to that Welcome to Glitch tab.
So all we did was set up this potential recipient of a webhook coming out of Courier, and then we'll just log what comes over, and then we'll be able to see it here.
Yeah,
So
and then we can work on making the request further from there. But yeah, we just created a post route, and if we click on the welcome to glitch, we can grab that URL.
welcome to glitch.
It's a browser tab right next to
Oh,
server.js.
okay. So this is our preview. Okay,
Yeah.
this is our URL.
Yep. And so we'll copy that.
Okay.
And we'll go back over into Courier. And let's go ahead and so this is saved as a draft right now, so we're fine. Let's go back over to the little plug for the integrations.
Arlemy, it's not because I usually stream with people who have no idea what they're doing, so please stop sloth cry face.
Oh.
But sometimes it is.
You know,
Okay,
people have feelings, Joyce.
I'm here under the integrations.
Yeah. So let's go back down to the bottom of the page and click on the webhook.
Okay.
And let's go ahead and paste that URL in there and then tack on Courier to the URL.
Okay, so this is our /Courier route. Okay.
Right. And we're going to say none for authorization, and we're not going to include the extended profile. So we should be good for here. So we can go ahead and install.
Install.
All right. Let's go back to our notification. So clicking on the palette in the bar to the left. Click on WUPHF under name. All right, so now let's go to add a channel, and we're going to add it underneath the always because that's how we roll. And now we can go down to configured and select webhook.
Did I already click it under the always?
Yeah, I believe you did.
So. Okay. And then we have this one configured, so add it.
Mm-hmm. And then if you go and click on webhook, you'll notice there's not a lot there.
That's like Postman's documentation on webhooks.
I mean, we have some good. We looked at the good documentation, but there's not really anything for you to design. I think we have aspirations of using JSON to be able to build the JSON payload, so it's not just that static one. But for right now, you add the webhook, you're going to get that payload. So we just have to deal with it. Okay, so what we can do now is we can go over to the send tab, and we can use it to kick off a notification.
Okay, so send tab. It's trying to tell me that I'm supposed to go here, actually. That's nice.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to go? Let's go ahead and hit publish changes. I think it's upset that we don't have a published notification.
From this screen?
Yeah. Okay. Woo. Yep. Okay, so all those went green. That's good. Let's scroll down, and so.
Is it okay for people to see this?
Yeah, because it's not gonna show your notification ID, not your notification, your auth token. It's not gonna show your auth token. For recipient ID, let's put in something a little more human readable. We generate just for this send tab, we generate something random, but I do my first name and my zip code. So my recipient ID is Adrian10036 because it's easy for me to remember.
Okay.
And then
my zip code. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay.
Okay. Normally, when you're picking recipient IDs, you want it to be something not so much random, but meaningful for something meaningful in some way. So if you have a main system of record, say I had a MongoDB database and I had a record for a user named Adrian, I would use the _ID value because then I can tie that back to that system.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
For this, let's go ahead and hit manage test events because we need to put in some information so you can actually receive an email and a text. So let's go to manage.
This area?
Yeah, click on that. And so inside profile, we're going to add to that profile JSON object.
Okay. And
so go ahead and hit return. And the first item we're going to add is just email, all lowercase. And as a string, add your email address you want it to go to.
The one that is registered with SendGrid?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
And put another quote to end that.
Oh. Please
And then
don't send me random cat facts, people, now that you see my email.
you know you have a really hard to guess email address too.
Yeah, yeah.
So and then do a comma and then drop down to the next line, and we're going to do phone_number. And this is going to be as a string the phone number that is registered with your Twilio account, because you're probably using a trial account, and Twilio will only send to registered numbers.
So this is the sending phone number from Twilio.
No, this is the receiving.
Recipient.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're filling out your recipient profile.
Okay. So this is like my literal phone number. Should I block this, and can I not have, I get so much spam through my phone.
Yeah. So I would block it, but it's going to show up one more place.
Will you be able to foreshadow when it comes into play?
It's gonna actually, so put in a string and just put like gibberish. There we go. And then close this window.
Is it saved? Okay.
Yeah, it's saved. It automatically saves. Okay, so we picked that test event. So if you scroll up and click on Node.js, there we go. So what it did is it generated the code if you were using our Node.js library. And you can see if you scroll down, there's going to be, do you see the profile? So it would show up there as well. Okay. And so what we can do is before you hit this send notification button, I guess you could, well, you would need to update it in the test event.
Got it.
But it would update it there. So it's not going to mask it there. So you would just have to block your screen, send it, hit the send button, change it back.
Okay, I understand.
Or I think, can you just delete the gibberish? Like, if you were to like change it and then.
No, it's inedible.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
right.
Is this thing? No, it's copy.
That's a copy. Okay, so but that's the other places it's going to show it. And so basically, this is the call that it's going to make. And whenever you kick that off, it's going to send it to all 3 channels. So do we want to hit a send?
Okay, so right now it won't send to all 3 channels. This is going to be the glitch channel, so it's not actually my light, but we can plug that part in afterwards. So
and actually, while we're kind of debugging, let's do something. Let's go back to design, the design tab, and click on the SMS, and drag that down into send to the best of. Okay. And then let's go back to the send. And what we'll do is we'll remove your phone number, and then it just won't send a text for right now.
Oh, right. Because I just have, it's okay. Got it.
So it'll send a 2, and we can just pretend that it's sent to a text, but that way we don't have to like show your. And so hit the.
Okay.
Hit publish changes.
Publish. Okay.
Wow, I really like that because I always publish change. And scroll back down to where we can see the test event and manage it. And just delete that line with the phone number, and then you'll need to delete the comma too. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And now we don't have to worry about changing it and changing it back. For the end, we could go in and add your phone number just to see it work.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so we're published. We've got test data set up. We got a recipient. Oh, it changed your recipient ID. It's fine. It doesn't matter here. And did you hit send notification?
Not yet. Should I?
Okay, so I think we're ready to send the notification. This will send a webhook, and it will send an email.
Webhook to glitch and email.
Yeah. So if you hit send notification and then go over to glitch.
I'm afraid. Okay.
Do it.
Okay.
Sending. Okay, so it says it's sent. And if you want to see it send, I love this. I love our logs. If you click on the little database icon, I think it's called data now, on the left underneath the palette. Yeah. You can see you now have a send. Look at that. And if you click on it, you can see a lot of information about the call that was made. Something was undeliverable. That's not happiness.
I probably set up SendGrid wrong.
No, well, let's find out. So if you click on event received, that's going to show you all the information that was sent in the send route. So the very first item in the timeline. There you go.
Okay.
So this is what comes over. We've got an event, which is the notification ID here. We got a profile, and we got a recipient ID. And then if you click on the next one, you don't have anything in your profile, so it's just going to show you what we sent over, which was just your email address. Rendered for the webhook is not very exciting. Interesting. It's usually not very exciting. Okay, and then we'll go down, and this will show you what the email ended up looking like. So let's see what the undeliverable said. No valid delivery channel. Interesting.
Tyrannosaurus Roy is commenting about the new Send tab.
Oh yeah, that new Send tab. It saves me from having to write scripts to send things whenever I do live streaming. But we showed that off yesterday too. So I think maybe, did we have a situation where we forgot to, we got Riley in the chat. Riley actually made the Send tab. So.
Ooh, bravo, Riley Courier.
Okay, so that's interesting. And then if you click on sent, that's saying that SendGrid actually sent, so you do have an email. Let's switch over to the glitch tab and see to the server.js and see if anything came in on the logs. I'm guessing. Oh, yeah, I did.
So let me expand this.
Oh, we got lots of things.
I want to check my email now too.
Yeah, so check your email and see if we got that. We might have not hit Did we hit publish after we? No, we did. Yeah.
I didn't see the green button.
Because it looks like it attempted to send the SMS as well, but we'll find out. So you're checking your email on another.
I am. I have an email from.
Show us your email.
Well, it should actually be from me, right? Because I'm the the way I set it up.
Yeah, it's going to be whatever it had in the from address in the notification.
I did it as a single sender, so it should be me. Okay. But I wonder if my own email went into the spam. Oh,
it could. So because with these kind of their demo accounts for SendGrid, they don't have the best deliverability. By design, once you set it up a little bit more, like there's ways that you could verify your domain and things like that. Yeah. They'll move you into better IP pools. But I even find myself like looking in the spam for my demo stuff, which is fine.
Well, this webhook sent.
Yeah, and we got it like 3 times, 4 times.
Why?
I don't know. That's interesting. Well, I mean, we'll deal with it. It's fine. So did you get the email? Did you find it?
I'm talking to you. Hold on. Let me look. I don't even know where my spam folder is. I'll do it surreptitiously while you continue.
Okay. So we got the information over and we can start using it to build out this webhook. What?
Yeah. So it was in my spam. Here, let me. So it's like, auga, hey, get out of bed.
Yeah.
Yes, it delivered.
I mean, it looks like what we made.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Oh, we did not do. Oh, okay. So we got.
Tyrannosaurus Roy is saying Courier may have retried the webhook if the glitch API call didn't return anything.
Yeah. So I just realized if you go look at our, this is important. This is important if you're doing webhooks. So if you do a response.sendStatus, res.sendStatus, and then give it 200.
Can it be like that?
Yep. And then yeah.
Wait, where are these semicolons coming from? I didn't do that.
It's when you hit format file, it's going. Ooh, let's calm down. To semicolon or not to semicolon, it's still going to run.
Semis are back.
Okay, so what was happening was, and this is important if you're making any kind of route that's going to be hit by a webhook. You need to send a 200 response because they do what's called like a retry and usually a back off. So if they send you something and they don't get any response, they'll send it again. And they're looking for that 200. And each one has like a different window for how long they'll retry and then like what the back off is. So like they might, this is in case it's really made for in case your system is down. So like if I was sending and my server was down, but I need to get that information, and maybe my server had to be restarted, and they send again like 5 minutes later and they get it, then they get a 200 and it's great. But like if I'm having like a major outage and it's like my server is down for half the day, it's going to not try every 5 minutes, but it's going to gradually back off and retry like up to a certain amount, just trying to hit that window when your server's back up. And for some of these systems, it's like, data that you don't want lost. It needs to be there as part of the process. So that's what was happening. We got it multiple times because we upset Courier because we didn't tell them we got it.
Yeah, this could be, I mean, if I'm setting this up and it's like my alerting system for some other system that's down, I would want the system to continue retrying and then fall back off.
Back off, yeah.
Back off, yeah.
So it will keep trying up to a certain amount of tries. And that's all, dependent on what webhook system you're using. Awesome. Okay, so we could start playing with this. You did confirm that you got the email, so that part is working.
Yes.
So now what we need to do whenever this gets hit is we need to make a post to your, my
endpoint. So
your endpoint.
So we need to take rec.body and then pull out. Well, we actually don't need to pull anything out, do we?
Well, yeah, right now we don't need to pull anything out because we're not passing anything over into data. So we could make it to where we pass on inside the data, and then we transcribe that over.
Okay.
But for right now, let's go and add. I like using the Axios package to do requests.
Do I have to require it?
Let's go over to package.json in the left. And we need to actually add the package because it's not in there. So if you go to the little drop down that says add package.
Oh, this is how you install it.
Yeah, okay. Axios.
Wait, I always get Axios and Fetch mixed up. Isn't one like more modern?
Fetch is built in. I don't know. I've never been able to make Fetch happen. So.
Okay, so this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so we just added, we added the package. It's right here, Axios. Cool. We installed it.
Yeah, and so now we go back to server.js, and up at the top, we need to require it in. So it's do const Axios. Not Axios. Require Axios.
Okay. And then we could do Axios dot.
Axios dot post.
Like all caps?
Lowercase. And then this is where we give it the URL that we're hitting.
Okay, so I'm going to Postman, and I have this one.
Okay. And we'll put that in there. And then the next thing is an object that is the body. So this is where we would do on true.
Is that what we had?
I don't know. Is that what it? It's your light.
I know. On true. Yes.
Yeah.
So I can
on
just.
True,
well, okay. On true. Okay. Boolean. Yeah. My memory.
And let's. I think it would be fine, but let's make this an async function. So before the arguments, the rec res. Or rec. Yeah. Let's type in async. And then we can put in a wait in front of Axios. So I don't know if we care about the response. If we don't, we can just leave it like this. But this will run the console log. It will make the post, and then it will send the response.
So no matter if this was successful or not, Courier will think it's successful.
Actually, we should probably. Different schools of thought about when you should when you should return that.
We have help from the chat.
Oh yeah. Oh, Riley's to the rescue. Fetch is the browser implementation, and people have polyfilled it for Node, so people can use the same API. Yeah. I just always use Axios now. It used to be request, but then request didn't support promises, and so I moved on. And actually, our client library is written using Axios.
Is Axios the new Ajax?
Well, I mean, it's a way that you make a request. Ajax is a like a methodology, asynchronous JavaScript and XML, but we don't use XML anymore. Cool. So actually, let's go ahead and move this res.setStatus above the call to Axios or to your thing, because what would happen is if Axios had an error and we don't have a try catch here, living dangerously, it would stop and then Courier would never get that 200. So really, if it like fails at this part, it's something that we need to fix, and we don't want to have to back up the retry.
Oh, okay.
And so if you want, you can do like a console.log, say light should be on or something like that, just so we see something in the logs.
After?
Yeah.
As a callback or just after?
Just do console.log. Yeah. We don't need a callback because we're using async await.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. All right. So all should be good. Let's hit the clear button on the logs. So that way we don't have to like do a bunch of scrolling. And let's go back to Courier and fire off another send.
Let me close this one. I think we were on this one, right?
Oh, yeah. So let's go back to the palette for the designer.
Okay.
And go back to your WUPHF. Okay, so we are published. That's good. Go to the send tab.
Okay.
That beautiful send page.
Who made this one again?
Riley
Riley did.
Courier. Yeah, in the Twitch chat.
Then I'll be sure not to say anything critical about the designing. Okay, so we're on the send tab.
Okay, and so everything should still be set up, and looks like it is. So you can just go ahead and hit send notification again. It's going to send you another email, and it's going to do another post to the webhook. Yeah, Riley says she wants feedback, so bring it.
Okay, so
oh, did it turn on?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
I can see. I can see your lit
that
up
surprised me. I just hit send notification and I totally just forgot like what I was doing. Okay.
Awesome. Okay. So
turn this off. It's very bright. Okay.
Yay, it worked.
Yay, it worked.
Did it. And so if we want to go back over to glitch, we'll probably see the data that came over. Hopefully only one copy. And then we'll see, hey, the light is on, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
But it indeed was. So we made the light turn on. If we were to move the SMS back, we would get all three of those events going off. But do you want to attempt to map the data?
So there's a couple things we could do here. Okay. We're actually doing really good on time.
Well, it's because Courier is just so easy to use. I mean,
it's so easy. It is pretty easy. So we've played around with these three tabs. Initially, we had to set up our integrations and plug in our credentials and plop in that my endpoint for the webhook. And then we went here to like create a notification, add the different channels, configure the priority queue, I think you called it. And then afterwards, I actually I like this logs too. But a minute ago, we came here and then you can walk through all the events. And this is that last one, these two, right?
Yeah. So you can see at the end, well, we're like, I think if you click back on summary up at the top, you could see where it said it was routed to webhook and SendGrid because it wasn't able to send to, because there was no phone number to send to your other thing. And I realized why it says undeliverable. So that undeliverable is the SMS. So what we're saying is send to the best of this one, and we didn't give that one what it needed to send. So we didn't give a phone number, so it couldn't send. And there was nothing else in that section to be sent. So normally it would fall through to the next thing.
Right. Okay.
And since there wasn't anything, that whole section is considered undeliverable because there was no channels. So that's why you're seeing that.
Well, also, I'm here. This is the last one we sent, these two events, if I'm reading this correctly. So sent, this is our status code that we returned from glitch.
Yeah,
from the glitch.
So this is all the interesting headers and things like that glitch sends back.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a couple options now. Um, Arlemy says time for Joyce to leak her phone number. Um, so I actually do want to use this for my boss. I want to give my boss a way to get in touch with me at all times.
Okay.
I said I don't carry my phone around with me. Like, what can I do? I said, my house isn't that big, so this light is actually decent. I said sometimes I go to the bathroom, and he said he doesn't want me to respond to anything when I'm in the bathroom. So,
Right.
but any other time, I think audio, like if we could play like a literal auga noise, if I could like flash the lights in like all the rooms, if I could play my Google, like I just need to be able to respond to my boss so that he doesn't think that I'm just like loafing.
Yeah.
So what can we do next? Should I it would be nice if my boss could say like urgent and then my light was like a different color.
Yeah. So let's go back to the notification, because what we'll do is we'll use the data to pass that over. And the way that we'll do that with the send tab is just modify our test case. So if you go back to the palette, there you go, and then click on WUPHF. And then let's go back to the send tab, because we're going to modify our data object. So scroll down, and under test event, let's go to manage test events. And where it says untitled event, let's call that like, in the text box up at the top. Let's call that urgent, just so we have something better than
test event.
Yeah. And then inside data, let's add a property. And we could just do urgent true, or we could do status urgent. What do you think? Urgent
I'm
true.
not good at naming things. Urgent true. Ooh. So this is what is required then?
So this is what will be passed over. So it's none of this data is required. This is what we have available to use over in the Glitch app. Okay. So let's deal with that. So let's close that, close this, and so we have that set up. Let's go back over to the Glitch app.
Okay.
And let's go back to the Courier route, and let's go underneath the console log. Don't delete it. Don't delete it.
No.
Underneath the console log rec.body. So we're going to go up there.
Underneath that one?
No, up line 35. Okay, let's destructure off that that property. So let's do const open curly.
Okay, I had to pause. I was like, what the heck is open curly?
Okay, urgent.
Property? Oh, just like a, yeah.
Equal rec.body.data.
Okay.
All right, and so now we have urgent, and there's a way that we can, so because it's not guaranteed to come back, let's do urgent equal false.
Above it?
In the const.
After it?
So where it says const open curly urgent, we're going to add
like a default?
False. Yeah, so we're going to default it to false. So if somebody doesn't pass it over into data, we'll just assume urgent is false. And now we can, so what do we need to do if it's urgent? Do we need to pass it a different payload?
Yeah, so in my endpoint, if I have like, oh, I hope Arlemy's watching. I don't remember what these mean, but the hue should be like 10,000 versus 50,000.
Okay. So let's do, yeah. So let's take that payload outside of the function. So let's go back over into, well, I mean, you can copy that if you like. If you want
I won't remember it.
Yeah, let's copy it.
Okay.
And let's underneath urgent equal false, let's just go and say const payload equal, and then just paste what you put in there. And then where we have this object with on equal true, just replace that object with payload. Okay.
Okay.
And so now what we can do, if you want to hit that format file button.
Is that hurting your eyes?
Just to
I feel
clean it
like
up a little.
we should make this like a ternary that says like if this thing is true, then it's 10,000. Otherwise, it's
Well, what we can do is underneath that, we can just put an if statement. So if urgent.
Oh gosh, I've been accidentally doing Python lately. Is this correct?
You need parent.
Okay.
Okay, and then hit enter, and we can do payload dot and whatever value we want to change.
Okay, so I think that might be red or something of the red family.
Accidentally doing Python.
Well, I've been. It's so hard. It's like going between Mac and Windows. All my shortcuts are gone, and now I can't tell if something looks weird or not.
Okay, so if it's urgent, we're changing the color to red, we're assuming.
Yes.
And so this should actually just work. One thing I want to do is let's move that res.sendStatus further up, like right underneath console.log, rec.body, so 35. Yeah.
Okay.
That way, because we keep pushing it down, and I don't like it.
Okay.
Okay, so now if we were to send this again, using the test event that we did that passes urgent, it should light up with red, we're guessing.
Okay, so we're here and we're passing through the urgent equals true.
Mm-hmm.
Send notification.
Yep.
Ooh, so my numbers were off. It's P yellow. It's kind of close. It works.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that's a way that you can pass information into the data object during the send call. So this is a send call depending on where you're going to have it kick off. If your boss is using Postman, say, to do this send, then all that data is being sent over there, and then it's being passed on to the webhook to pass it on to your light.
Okay. So, oh gosh, that seems a little. So he can use Postman to trigger an event, and then Courier, then all the priority queue or whatever logic exists here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one thing you could do is, because right now, like, you would have to set up Postman to send an event to Courier, to our API, and he would have to know your auth token. But we could create a send route on glitch that accepts, like, I don't want to say dumbed down, but like easier, easier parameters, and then we could make the send call for Courier inside glitch.
Yeah. So Courier right now just has a bunch of different integrations, but they're kind of like you guys are in the process of like building out customization and all that kind of stuff. So we're literally only using glitch to do like little bits of like tweaking and customization, right?
Yeah, we're just using glitch to accept the webhook. But like, if you notice, you didn't have to do any kind of coding to get SendGrid to work. You don't have to do any kind of coding to get Twilio to work. All you had to do was set up those integrations and give us, your API keys or whatever.
Yeah. Tyrannosaurus Roy. If you have ideas, oh my gosh. Okay, so we're doing fantastic on time, Adrian. You're so good at this. If you have other ideas for things that we like, if somebody's like a serious expert in Google Home, we cannot do Google Home because I have not applied for like whatever that program is that you need credentials for. Yeah. I still want an Auga noise though.
I know what I did for mine was, so I have, and it's not running in it's not running in Glitch right now because they're having issues with Next.js, and I did my routes in Next.js, but I set up on my server a WebSocket server, and I wrote a local client that was able to tap into my computer's speakers, and that's how I played the sound. So like whenever it hit the endpoint, I did a broadcast that my client picked up and played a sound. So like that, yeah, like because my little light didn't have a speaker and I needed to figure it out. But that's a lot of setup.
So I have a Raspberry Pi that I don't know if it has a speaker, but it's in the other room. I could do the same thing where with the WebSockets local server or some other protocol that then plays it. My gong, when I set it up, I could have it like gong, or actually my gong is just a servo arm. Are you IoT?
I've done some things with it. I haven't played a lot, but like, yeah, I mean, with your gong, like you would set it up, you know, whatever is controlling the servo arm.
Yeah.
You know, you could set it up with like accepting a webhook, like it could accept a post.
Yeah.
And so we could do like the similar thing to your light, or if it's, you know, if you want to set it up using WebSockets or whatever protocol you want to do, we would just, you know, we made the call to the light, and then we would follow it up with a call to the gong.
So the servo arm, it could be like urgent true gong or urgent true gong. And so all we would do is just drag that. Well, actually the webhook.
So yeah, there's only one webhook, so we're just making one post. And so we would make that change in Glitch here.
Yeah. Oh, in Glitch. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in Glitch, where we see the await axios.post, we would just do another await axios.post that would communicate with the gong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty slick. So folks in the chat, if you want us to do anything else, or Adrian, I suppose you're our special guest. So if you have ideas for things that we can explore, or little bells and whistles, I know you, and I've known you for a while. I've never played around with Courier. It seems pretty easy. Like if I can get started, it seems pretty easy. And I feel like the logs are very interesting to me. I feel like we learned a lot about Glitch too.
Yeah.
Their logs are interesting to me. They have all these bells and whistles.
Well, and what's great is you could share out. So if you went back to the server.js and the Glitch console, underneath there's a share button. Sorry, by your picture up at the top underneath Mixolydian. Sorry, other side, left side. Share button.
Share.
Yeah, and so you could actually share this out. If you clicked, so that's just the project page, but you could share that link out, and people could actually look at your code. You could use this invite others link, and people would actually have read-write access, so they could start building things and helping you. But if you send them the first link, they could remix it, and they have a version of it, and they can start building it themselves. So if you want to build something that will accept a webhook from Courier, so if you wanted to hint, go sign up for a free account. You can send 10,000 free messages a month. You could sign up for a Courier account and remix this Glitch app, and you could, you know, start rolling. Like right now, you would just be controlling her light.
Yeah. So if I publish this, they still have to. They still have to hit that. Here, let me drop a link. Or actually, Adrian, will you drop a link to Courier? A free account? Really? Just like Postman? Can you drop a link to the Courier webpage in the chat, please?
Yeah.
And something
we are
else.
Simply Courier.com now.
Simply Courier.com.
Well, I mean, we're Courier.com.
Yeah.
Previously, trycourier.com, but that's gone away. We are Courier.com now.
I was telling Adrian, I told you the story right before we started, but Arlemy, who is, I shouldn't actually say this while he's broadcasting our live stream, but he was giving a presentation, an internal presentation at Postman, and he was talking about an upcoming stream that we have, and he's like, Adrian of Courier, because he's French.
No, that's okay. I'll take it.
What is that emoji? Tyrannosaurus Roy. What is that?
I think it's like the ta-da. It's a party popper. If I hover over it, it says party popper.
Oh, a ta-da. Nice.
Like a ta-da.
Yeah. Okay. Well, something else, Adrian, if you don't mind getting, you also live stream, correct?
I do. Every Wednesday at noon Pacific on the Courier Twitch. So that's twitch.tv/trycourier. We do an episode of Courier Live, and so I pulled in engineers. So the engineers love the stream. Riley was just on it with me yesterday, and we did something similar using webhooks to turn on my little blink stick cube. And so we do that. I have some outside guests coming on in the future. We're going to be doing something for Twilio Virtual Signal Comp, so we'll have a live stream for that.
When is the conference?
The conference is what is it, the 30th and the 1st? It's the last day of September and the first day of October. 30 days, half of September. Yeah, 30th and the 1st.
Okay. Can you drop a link to your live stream here as well?
Yeah.
I'm asking you to do so much work, but
Oh,
I'm sharing my screen right now, and I don't know what'll pop up if I start searching the internet.
Yeah. So feel free to follow us. We need those followers.
Yeah.
And then for every stream that we do on the following Wednesday, there is a blog post that goes out recapping it with a link to the video. So if you
that's
missed
a great
it,
idea.
you can watch it. Yeah, it's a great way to generate content.
Postman should do that.
Yeah, they should. You gotta get that SEO.
So I'll do my best to publish this glitch thing, maybe put some comments in there to explain. Maybe I'll write a blog post. You've inspired me, Adrian.
Yeah. And one thing, if you don't want to be, I wonder who would be in charge. If you don't want to leave the URL out there for, light.mausergirl.com, you could set up that as an environment variable inside glitch.
Yeah.
And then use the environment variable. And that way, whenever people remix the application, the environment variable will be there, but there will be no value.
Yep. So how do you set up end variables?
So let's go back over to server.js on glitch and go into .env. There's a little key next to it in the file view. Mm-hmm. And scroll down. And let's good Lord. So that's the graphical view of it. Let's just go ahead and hit plain text or add variable. There you go. They have this is kind of new. Yeah, big button says add variable. And let's call this all uppercase light_URL. And then as a string, because it's got characters in there, I think it's going to be easier to do it as a string. Like put in what your URL is.
Okay.
All right. And now we can go back over to server.js.
I actually don't mind if people know light.meowsergirl.com because I published a Postman template with that. Oh. But it's good to know how this works.
Yeah.
But when I share it, does it just include the .env in the get ignore?
It does, but it's empty. So if we were to say create a route, so if we wanted to do a route that's like just /send, and you could post like a different payload to it, and then that sends the courier. Courier requires you to use an auth token. And so always put the auth token in the environment variable. And if you did courier_auth_token, the courier library, the Node.js library will just automatically pull that in. And then if somebody was to remix it, it would not share your auth token, which is bad, but it would give them the prompt to put in their own. Because again, they could sign up for a free account, remix this, and do it themselves with their free account from Courier.
Do you get paid by the
with their 10,000 free messages a month?
10,000 free messages ain't bad, folks.
Yeah.
All right, so we always close out the session with a community shout out. So if there's folks that you want to give a shout out to in the community, think about who you want to give a shout out. On the Postman side, I don't have a particular shout out, but I do want to reiterate that in case you missed it. Oh, I suppose it is a shout out. So I already included, well, I'll find a link to that. Maybe I didn't include a link. If somebody from Arlemy, if you don't mind posting a link to the save the date for Postman Galaxy, that's the Postman User Conference. And you know who is running the speaker selection committee. If you're real nice to him next week when he's streaming, Arlemy is actually heading up that selection. So we're looking for first time and as well as seasoned professional tech speakers. Interesting stories is what we're looking for. So Adrian, do you have any shout outs for your community?
For my community, please go check out our blog. It's at courier.com/blog. We post there every week. I think we're putting out some pretty cool things. Especially you can see the recaps of the Courier Lives. But also go to our YouTube page and give us a subscribe. We need those subscribers.
Plop the links in the thingy.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah.
You ever watch YouTube where they're like, if you like this, hit like and subscribe. Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. I need it. I need the likes. And I'm gonna have to find our YouTube page, because part of the reason I need those subscribes is so we can get to 100, so we can have a nice URL.
Oh. Well, I noticed that you went from Try Courier to Courier, and Postman went from Get Postman to Postman fairly recently. So big things are happening. I don't have anything else. Adrian, did you have anything else? And how can we stay in touch with you? You mentioned Twitch, YouTube, blogs.
Yeah, so we're also on Twitter at Try Courier. I'm on Twitter at It's Adrian. I think it's on my thing down here. How else? Soon we will be launching our own community forum, so that's going to be great. So pay attention to the blog for that.
Is that the sound of your dog in the background?
Oh, he's prancing around. Yeah,
it sounds like little dog nails on the floor.
That's exactly what it is. I don't know what he's doing. He's staring at the wall right now.
I'm mad that you didn't drag him over to the camera so that we can see him. But perhaps we'll invite you back as a guest a second time, and then you can show us Oliver.
Yeah, I mean, normally he's napping. So Oliver just turned 15 in May. So he's my grumpy old man. And he mostly just naps a lot during the day, and then, during the night.
That's fair. You get to 15 years old, you kind of earn the right to nap all day.
Right? Yeah, like he was my emotional support dog, and now I'm his emotional support human. So we're trading. Okay.
Well, I don't have anything else. It was so nice for you to join me from the East Coast, West Coast, East Coast jive. I don't think jive is the right word, but West Coast, East Coast reunion. But if you don't have anything else, thank you so much for coming on. And everyone on the Twitch and on YouTube, we will see you next Thursday. Goodbye. Bye. Bye, Adrian.
Bye.